Hello and welcome to Raju Notes channel, your pit stop for weekly current affairs updates. The updates tailor-made for students taking all kinds of competitive exams like UPSC, civils, defense and placement interviews. Please subscribe to the channel and stay updated every Sunday. Indian Army and Indian Air Force contingent comprising of 120 personnel departed for Kazakhstan last week to take part in the 7th edition of Joint Military Exercise KAZIND 2023. The exercise will be conducted at Okt-04 in Kazakhstan from 30th October to 11th of November. Indian Army contingent comprising of 90 personnel led by a battalion from the Dogra Regiment. The Kazakhstan contingent is represented by personnel from Regional Command South of Kazakh Ground Forces. 30 personnel of the Air Force from both sides are also participating in the current edition of the KAZIND 2023. The joint exercise between India and Kazakhstan was instituted as Exercise Prabal Dostik in 2016. After the second edition, the exercise was upgraded to company-level exercise and renamed as Exercise KAZIND. The exercise has been full and further upgraded as a by-service exercise this year by including the Air Force component. In this edition of the exercise, both sides will participate and practice conduct of counter-terrorism operations in a sub-conventional environment under the United Nations mandate. The contingent will jointly rehearse various tactics drills to include raid, search and destroy, small team insertion and extraction operations. The scope of exercise also includes conduct of counter-unmanned aerial system operations. Tata Group will soon start production of iPhones in India. In a social media post this week, Union Minister of State for Electronics and Technology, Rajiv Shekhar, informed that within 2.5 years, Tata Group will make iPhones from India for domestic and global markets. He congratulated Tata Group for taking over Wistron operations. He said, the government stands fully in support of the growth of global India electronic companies that will in turn support global electronic brands. In a meeting held today, the Taiwanese electronics manufacturer Wistron announced that its board has approved the sale of Wistron Infocom Manufacturing India Private Limited to Tata Electronics Private Limited for $125 million. United States President Joe Biden said that he intends to end the participation of Gabon, Niger, Uganda, and the Central African Republic in the African Growth and Opportunity Act (AGOA) trade program. Biden said the step was being taken because of gross violations of internationally recognized human rights by Central African Republic and Uganda. He also cited Niger and Gabon's failure to establish or make continual progress towards the protection of political pluralism and the rule of law. Biden said he intends to terminate the designation of these countries as beneficiaries sub-Saharan African countries under the AGOA effective January 1, 2024. Prime Minister Narendra Modi and his Bangladesh counterpart Sheikh Hasina on 1st of November jointly inaugurated 3 Indian-assisted development projects through a video conferencing. The 3 projects are Akhura-Agartala cross-border rail link, Khulna-Mongla port rail line, and Unit 2 of the Maitri super thermal power plant. Prime Minister said, for establishing peace, security and stability at the border, both nations have signed the land boundary agreement, which had been delayed for decades. Mr. Modi said, India and Bangladesh also solved the maritime boundary issues. He said, in the last 9 years, 3 new bus services have been started connecting Dhaka, Shillong, Agartala, Guwahati and Kolkata. He added that the new 3 trains services have also started in last 9 years. The King of Bhutan, Jigme Khesar Namgyal Wangchuk, arrived in India this week on an 8-day official visit. The Bhutan King will meet Prime Minister Narendra Modi during his visit. He will also visit Assam and Maharashtra. The External Affairs Minister and senior officials of Government of India will call on King of Bhutan The External Affairs Ministry said that the visit will provide an opportunity to both sides to review the entire gamut of bilateral cooperation and to further advance the exemplary bilateral partnership across diverse sectors. India, along with 27 other countries and the European Union, have signed world's first agreement on artificial intelligence AI safety at a meeting in the United Kingdom. The agreement pledges to work together to assess the risk associated with artificial intelligence. A two-day AI Safety Summit 2023 began at United Kingdom's World War II Code-Breaking Centre at Bletchley Park yesterday. In a statement, the United Kingdom government said that the agreement will be known as Bletchley Declaration. Addressing the gathering at the world's first global summit on the artificial intelligence, Union Minister for State for Electronics and IT, Raju Chandrasekhar, said, India looks at AI with a prism of openness, safety, trust, and accountability. India and Sri Lanka have conducted the 12th round of the talks on the Economic and Technology Cooperation Agreement (ETCA) in Colombo, Sri Lanka. The negotiations spanning from 30th of October till 1st of November marked a significant step in revitalizing the bilateral economic relationship. The delegations from both sides delved into the spectrum of critical areas including trade in goods, technical barriers to trade, and trade in services. Both sides hailed the progress achieved during the previous discussions and decided to treat 9 issues as resolved. Both sides agreed to continue discussions on matters including apparel quotas and pharmaceutical procurements. The India-Sri Lanka ETCA is being seen as a pivotal move to further enhance bilateral trade between two countries. India was Sri Lanka's largest trading partner with an overall bilateral mercantile trade of Rs. $5.45 billion in year 2021. The Russian government has made it easy for the Indian nationals to open and operate bank accounts in the country. According to the Russian embassy in India, accounts in the Russian banks can be opened remotely in a straightforward manner from now onwards. It advised Indians to approach an Indian bank that has a partnership agreement with the Central Bank of Russian Federation for guidance. Upon arrival in Russia, it will be possible to quickly obtain a bank card in a partner Russian bank and initiate financial transactions, being especially beneficial for Indian tourists and the 15,000 Indian students studying in the country. This move comes week after Moscow announced that Indians can apply for e-visa to enter the country, indicating growing ties between the two nations. Indian-born author Nandini Das has been named as the winner of 2023 British Academy Book Prize for Global Cultural Understanding, a leading international non-fiction prize, for her book Quoting India, England, Mughal, India and the Origins of Empire. Ms. Das is a professor in English literature at the University of Oxford. The winning book is her debut and has been described by critics as the true original story of Britain and India, told through England's first diplomatic mission to the Mughal courts. The author has sought to present a new perspective on the origins of empire through the story of the arrival of the first English ambassador in India, Sir Thomas Ray, in early 17th century. The Election Commission of India has designed an in-house software for complete candidate and election management through ENCORE, which stands for Enabling Communications on Real-Time Environment. This provides a seamless facility for returning officers to process candidate nomination, affidavit, voter turnout, counting, results, and data management. The ENCORE counting application is an end-to-end application for returning officers to digitize the votes polled, tabulate the world round-wise data, and then take out various statutory complaints of counting. Another application called as ENCORE Scrutiny application allows returning officers to do scrutiny of the nominations filed by the candidates in line. After verification of the nomination, the status is marked as accepted, rejected, or withdrawn, helping the returning officers to prepare the final list of contesting candidates and assign the symbols. The Election Commission of India also has an online portal for filling the nominations and affidavit. This is an optional facility to facilitate ease of filing and correct filing. Russian President Vladimir Putin signed a bill today revoking Russia's ratification of a global nuclear test ban, a move that Moscow said was needed to establish parity with the United States. Both houses of Russian parliament voted last month to revoke Moscow's ratification of the bill. Putin had said that rescinding the ratification of the Comprehensive Nuclear Test Ban Treaty, also known as CTBT, would mirror the stand taken by the US, which has signed but not ratified the nuclear test ban. Russian Deputy Foreign Minister Sergei Rybakov said last month that Moscow would continue to respect the ban and will only resume nuclear tests if Washington does first. The CTBT, adopted in 1996, bans all the nuclear explosions anywhere in the world, but the treaty was never fully implemented. In addition to the US, it is yet to be ratified by China, India, Pakistan, North Korea, Israel, Iran, and Egypt. The Iron Dome played a crucial role in ensuring Israel's safety as Hamas fighters fired a barrage of rockets towards Gaza. Amid the ongoing war, the Iron Dome couldn't intercept all rockets but was able to prove its mettle. Now, India is also developing its own Iron Dome, which is reportedly more effective than Israel. DRDO's Project Kusha is an indigenous, long-range surface-to-air missile LRSAM system that would be able to detect and destroy the incoming stealth fighters, drones, cruise missiles, and precision guiding munitions at a range of up to 350 kilometers. It is expected to have a success rate of 80% for a single missile launch and over 90% for a salvo launch. In Nepal, at least 128 people were killed and 140 injured when a magnitude of 6.4 earthquake shook northwest part of the country. As per reports, Jajarkot and West Rukum have dealt the most damage. Nepal's Prime Minister Pushp Kamal Dahal said he has instructed the army and national police forces to be mobilized for rescue and relief operations. In 2015, a 7.8 magnitude earthquake killed some 9,000 people and damaged about 1 million structures, causing many billion reports in damage. The United Nations General Assembly on Thursday voted by a large margin against the US economics and trade embargo against Cuba. It was first imposed in 1960. A total of 187 states voted for the resolution put forward against the embargo, with only United States and Israel voting against, and Ukraine abstaining. The United Nations General Assembly voiced concern that despite its resolution dating back to 1992, the economic, commercial, and financial embargo against Cuba is still in place, and that the adverse effects of such measure is on the Cuban people and on Cuban nationals living in other countries. And now for the segment where we see the events that unfolded itself this week back in history. 29 October 1929, collapse of US stock market prices. Just 5 days after nearly 13 million shares of US stock were sold in one day in 1929, an additional 16 million shares were sold this day, calling Black Tuesday, further fueling the crisis known as Great Depression. 30 October 1485, Henry Tudor, crowned King of England. Henry Tudor, who was crowned Henry VII on this day in 1485, founded Tudor dynasty, ended the Wars of the Roses, used his children's marriage to build alliances, and signed treaties that increase England's power. 31st October 1517, Luther's 95 Theses posted. According to tradition, Luther Martin, this day in 1517, posted a church door in Wittenberg, Germany, his 95 Theses, a manifesto that turned a protest about an indulgence scandal into the Protestant Reformation. 1st November 1952, first thermonuclear bomb tested by United States. On this day in 1952, on an atoll of Marshall Island, Edward Teller and the other American scientists tested the first thermonuclear bomb, its power resulting from an uncontrolled, self-sustaining nuclear chain reaction. 2nd November 1976. Jimmy Carter elected as 39th US President. Jimmy Carter, recipient of Nobel Peace Prize in 2002 and Democratic former governor of Georgia, was elected as 39th President of United States this day in 1976, narrowly defeating Republicans Gerald R. Ford. 3rd November 1998. Another section of Great Wall of China discovered. Announced on this day in 1998 was the discovery in the Hui Autonomous Region of Ningxia of a previously unknown 15.5-mile, 25-kilometer segment of the Great Wall of China, which runs a total of about 4,500 miles. 4th November 1995, Yitzhak Rabin assassinated. Israeli Prime Minister Yitzhak Rabin, co-recipient with Shimon Peres and Yasser Arafat of the Nobel Peace Prize in 1994, was assassinated this day in 1995 by a Jewish extremist while attending a peace rally.
Well, that's all friends for this week's updates. See you soon next Sunday on the same channel. Till then, take care. Bye bye.